Welcome to America's Top Rebbetzins. May this class be for Refuah Shalema, for Lior Tovia Ben Haya Ashna. I also wanted to thank today's sponsors, the law offices of Jason B. Kessler. They're a personal injury and workers' compensation firm located in the New York area. So God forbid you get injured on the job or you're in a car accident or slip and fall, they are the people to call. Their website is www.kesslerlawyer.com. That's www.kessler, Kessler, lawyer.com. I'm so happy to have on today's show Rebbetzin Chaya Meyer. Rebbetzin Meyer is a teacher in Beth Jacob High School in Denver, Colorado, and she's also the Rebbetzin of Aish of the Rockies. Thank you so much for being here. Please tell us more about yourself and what you do.
Hello, I'm Chaya Meyer, and I'm very honored to be part of this show.
Thank you.
And as Vera had said, I am a teacher in Beth Jacob High School, and I also help run a pretty big operation called Aish of the Rockies, which has a shul, but also has a lot of outreach programs and community-based activities and education and a lot of different things. It has a mikvah, it has a preschool, a daycare. It has a lot of different things going on, services, everybody has a library, a lot of different things. So we're very community oriented, always trying to help people in the community, bring more people to the community, and just help Klal Yisrael in general.
That's amazing. Wow. That you really do have a lot going on there. It's fantastic. So I know something that you really enjoy speaking about is building a Jewish home. I mean, it's so comforting when you walk into somebody's home and you instantly feel like you belong. And I just want to talk about a little bit today about what it's like to build a Jewish home and all the different components involved. And I wanted to start off by asking, what are some of the physical elements that make a Jewish home Jewish?
So a Jewish home can be one person, it could be a couple, it could be a family with children. A home that's Jewish is a home that has the warmth and the love of Yiddishkeit. And just physically, you asked me about physically, it looks Jewish in the way that the art on the wall looks Jewish. It might have, pictures of great sages, rabbis. Perhaps there'll be some, a library of holy books and Jewish books. It will be an inviting, warm atmosphere where people will feel comfortable coming in and welcomed. There may be Jewish music playing or comfortable music in the background that makes it very calm and pleasant. When people come in, there should be a place for them to sit, whether they're visiting, collecting money, or just hanging out. It should be a comfortable place. There should be food available for them. So when people come in, let them sit down, offer them something to drink, something hot to eat. And it should be a welcoming place where people feel embraced and not judged. And if we do it correctly, then people will want to come back. They'll tell their friends about it. They'll want to join. And those are some of the physical. Whoa. Sorry, I think I just got somebody called in. Those are some of the physical ways that we show that this is a Jewish home. There's also Judaica around,
Yes.
People that come in, they see my Leichter, they see my Kiddush cups, they see a shofar up on the bookshelf, and it's just a very, very clearly a Jewish home. And there's something very different when non-Jews come into my house and they see it. They notice that there's no television.
Oh, that's interesting.
There's no screen out there, and they say to me, it's so refreshing that your home it's not built around the screen. And I really I appreciate that comment, because we try to make a home that's family oriented, that's people oriented, and that's our goal. So that's a good comment when people say that.
Yeah, and that is very special because then you're focusing more on the family, on the parents, on the kids, on doing things together as opposed to video games or watching TV or, things like that.
Absolutely.
And some of the Judaic, I just want to talk a little bit more about the Judaic. I know the lector, just to clarify that word, the lector is the Shabbos candles. Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to clarify that.
Yeah. Sorry.
And also the mezuzahs, like when you first come into the house, there's a mezuzah on the outside door when you come in, but there are also mezuzot on each doorway in the home.
That very much. Thank you so much for saying that. That's true also. And we even have a welcome mat and a sign of our family, Meyer family, and it says welcome, so we invite people to come in. Like, this is a house that you should feel welcomed in. And that's also kind of a Jewish thing. It's a foreign concept to the outside world. So just inviting guests, people that we don't even know, is a foreign concept to the outside world. So that's a very Jewish idea.
It is a very, very Jewish idea. And it reminds me in the Torah, the story of Abraham, and when he invited the angels in the desert, he invited them into his tent and he cooked food for them. Like you were saying, hot food, to be the ultimate host and hostess, to really shower your guests with attention, with food, with, whatever they need, whenever they need to make them feel comfortable. I agree. It's a very, very Jewish concept.
Exactly.
Yes. And something else that makes a Jewish home Jewish are the rituals that are performed inside of the home. And I was wondering if you can please talk and explain about some of the most important Jewish rituals that a family does in the home.
Well, I can talk about my rituals. It's kind of a personal type of thing because we're not talking about Jewish law, things that, observant families do. We're talking about things that we've established as a family, and I'll share some of those things with you.
Yes.
So in order to create the proper environment and a certain joy in the home, and to make the children excited and happy to be part of this family. Okay. So we try very much to do a lot of singing and dancing. So I remember something that we did every Friday when my children were very young is we turned on the Jewish music, and it was very, exciting music, dancing music. And we danced before Shabbos began. We danced because we were welcoming Shabbos, and it got the kids riled up and it got them excited, and they knew that Shabbos was coming. We were welcoming the Shabbos queen, and that got them into the mood as well. So that became a ritual until they got too old for it. And another thing that children should see is a lot of davening. They should see parents communicating with the Almighty, whether it be a formal type of thing with the siddur in hand, or it just be that parents just express a wish or a desire, and they ask Hashem for help, or they just bring Hashem into their daily lives. He is a common household word, God. Okay, so that is something extremely important in a Jewish home.
Yes.
That Hashem, God, has to be part of daily living. Every member has to feel that Hashem loves them, and that that they love Hashem. So there's a lot of talk about that. There's also a ritual that we had, and we still do have it, and that is during dinner time. Besides talking about, how was your day, and tell us something that you learned at school and things like that, but we learn something at the dinner table. We take out an English Jewish book, whether it be about Kiddush Hashem or about joy, whatever it is, and we read a page or two. It gives them something to think about, something for us to talk about, and it shows a value to the children, that we value Jewish education. We value what this book is saying. We talk about the stories about great people. We try to emulate them. These are all values that really stick with children. When the kids see us, when the kids see us benching, for example, with a bencher and taking it seriously, like 3 minutes, don't disturb me. I'm benching because I'm appreciating the food that I just ate. So please, give me a few minutes. And also, let's say after we use the restroom, like they see us saying a prayer. Thank you, Hashem, that my body just worked properly. The Asher Yatzar. I know that these are, I don't know if you would call them rituals, but they are definitely something that we have to make them a priority. And the children should be seeing that all the time so that they will continue those practices into adulthood. Let me just see. So I guess another idea is singing a lot, a lot of singing at the Shabbos table. The whole Shabbos table is like one big ritual, we try to have guests at the Shabbos table. We try to share the gift of Shabbos with other people, and that's good for everybody. We cater our meals towards the children, but other people kind of look in and they observe. And our ritual is always questions and answers and discussions about the parsha, and it's always very interesting, and we try to get the guests involved. And there's a whole slew of things that one can do in order to engage guests and your children at the Shabbos table. We don't want kids saying, I'm out of here, like, leaving to go read on the couch. We want them at the table. We want them engaged. We want them happy. We serve them good food, their favorites. We want them to be participating fully. This is not a spectator sport. This is, we're all being engaged in this Shabbos meal. So there's a lot that goes on at the Shabbos table, a lot of magic goes on at the Shabbos table. And that's our like big ritual. And in fact, the whole week revolves around Shabbos. So we're talking about it the whole week. Who are we having? What are we serving? Are we going to have a theme? Are we doing anything special? Who's going to make dessert? Everybody's involved. So it's just very much in the air, and just very much like the water we drink. These are the kinds of things that we do as a family that just create a whole Jewish environment. And these are just priorities of ours.
I love it. I love every single thing you said. I love it. It's so important. It's really key because everything you said creates a Jewish home. It's really what makes a home Jewish. In addition to the physical elements that we just talked about, these are the intangibles. These are the spiritual elements that you talked about. And I just want to ask a few questions about what you said. So the music in the home is Jewish. I just want to clarify. It's not the pop culture music. I just want to clarify. It's Jewish music. And I was wondering if somebody wanted to buy a CD or even put it on their phone, who are like some of the artists, or what can we Google to find Jewish music?
So I'm pretty traditional with Jewish music, but there is so much available out there in English, in Hebrew, in Yiddish. I mean, it's just filled with Jewish options as far as music is concerned. I happen to like Yaakov Shweki a lot, Baruch Levine. These are some of my favorite artists, singers, composers. A.B. Rottenberg is a brilliant, he's written journeys and very English songs with heart, with soul. And they speak to everybody. They speak, to the non-affiliated and, even the frommest, most religious people. They're very touched by A.B. Rottenberg's lyrics and his songs. But I mean, I can't even tell you everybody that I like, but there's just variety. If you would even Google, you would see such a variety. I happen to like the more traditional ones. And by the way, I have to tell you something that I typically do in the car or when we're listening to Jewish music is I say, okay, let's talk about these words. What do they mean? because
Beautiful.
they're so rich in meaning, and people just sing them like without even thinking about them. Chaval, such a pity. You're
Right.
singing them. Know what you're singing. Have a little emotion in it. It's such an opportunity. So that's something that I frequently do.
Oh, that's key. Yes, not just to sing it. What are you singing? What does it mean? To make a connection to the words and to the music. That's very, very interesting. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then you were talking about davening, praying. And yeah, it's beautiful to pray from a sitter, from a prayer book. And I also like what you said, even if you're not praying from a prayer book, you can just have a conversation with Hashem just in your own words. I do that frequently also. When something happens, there was a story one time, something was wrong with my dryer, my clothing dryer. It wasn't working. And I said, Hashem, please help me with this clothing dryer. I'm telling you, I kid you not, the thing started working. It started working again. And my son was with me. My son is 15. He just looked at me. He's like, yes, mom, you have to thank Hashem. He just looked at me like all my kids were in the room. He's like, yes, you're right, mom. You have to thank Hashem for that. I do. I have a conversation with him when I'm cooking. I just talk to him, and it's not davening out of, yes, I also daven out of a sitter, but you can talk to Hashem anytime when you're cooking, when you're doing laundry, when you're in the car driving, and you could talk to him about something that you're having trouble with. You can pour out your heart to him. You could ask for advice. You could ask for clarity. And it's a really, really a meaningful connection between you and Hashem. So that's a beautiful point. And also about benching. Benching is the grace after meals. And there are little benchers that have the words to the grace after meals. And it's very, very important, after you eat, to thank the person who gave you this food. Yes, okay, you went to the supermarket, you're the one who cooked it, but who gave you the food? It was Hashem. So like that was such a beautiful point that you brought up. And the bathroom prayer after you use the bathroom, the Asher Yatzar, that's the prayer. I have it laminated on all of my bathrooms. So if somebody finishes using the bathroom, they could just come out and they could say the prayer. And it's so important because I have to tell you, like me personally, I have some, whatever, I had some medical issues. Thank God they're better. But if, not to be graphic, but whatever, like if you're constipated and your bowel system is not moving correctly, that's an issue. And it's connected to this prayer. The prayer is about all the openings of your body and making sure that they're functioning properly. When they're supposed to be open, they should be open. When they should be closed, they should be closed. It's a really, really powerful prayer. So I just really want to mention that and point that out since you brought it up, and it was beautiful, really. So, so Jewish values are also a significant part of building a Jewish home. And I wanted to see if maybe you could talk to us about the core Jewish values and how we can implement those values in our everyday lives.
Well, there's many core Jewish values that I could speak about, but I'm going to talk about a couple of main ones that are very much a focus in my family. The first one is gratitude.
Yes.
In Hebrew, it's called hakaras hatov, recognizing the good. It is impossible to be a proper Jew without really exercising this muscle. And it really requires recognition and thinking about and talking about and acting on an appreciation of the myriad of blessings that one has every second of the day. Now, this is a whole avoda. It's a whole work. It's a lifelong effort. So it's not something that can be acquired overnight, but one can strengthen this muscle with practice. So this is something that we really focus on. In fact, we read at the table, we read about gratitude. There's so many resources like Garden of Gratitude. There's Say Thank You, See Miracles. I mean, it's all about recognizing the good in one's life. And now that is not just to Hashem, God, but it's also with people. But if a person cannot recognize all the blessings that one has in their own life, God-given blessings, we're talking sight and breathing and hearing and walking, and the list goes on and on and on. If a person has trouble recognizing the source of all of these blessings, then they might very well have problems interpersonally expressing gratitude towards people that, give them things and, showing appreciation towards people. And that's key to a good relationship, is appreciating them.
For sure.
So this is a very important aspect of being a Jew, and that is showing appreciation to Hashem and bringing it down to a level where one is thinking about it often. So great people, we know of very, very great rabbis and Rebbetzins, how did they get to be so great? So one of the ways is that, they don't have downtime, like with their minds, they don't like chill, they don't have chill time. When they're resting, their mind automatically goes to Hashem, thank you for this bed. Hashem, thank you for the ability to breathe without pain. Hashem, thank you for my pillow, for my pajamas, for my food, every second of the day, they are recognizing and connecting with the Almighty. And this enhances a Jew's life exponentially. I mean, it just really makes a person happy. It brings a smile to a person's face because, as it says in Ethics of Our Fathers in Pirkei Avos, it says, Ezehu Ashir, who is the wealthy one? Hasameach b'chelko, he is happy with his lot. He is so appreciative of everything that he has. And a religious Jew should know that if he doesn't have it, he doesn't need it. He has what he needs, and he should appreciate everything that he has. So hakara satov, meaning gratitude, is very, very, very a big, big value that we have in a Jewish home. Another very big value that we have is chesed, doing for others, thinking about ways to enhance another person's life. What can I do to contribute to another person's happiness? How can I help another person? How can I enhance somebody else's existence? And there's so many ways. And children that grow up in a home where their parents are busy helping other people and concerned about other people, davening for other people, cooking for other people, bringing things to other people, shopping for other people, it's a different life. Children that see their parents worried and concerned about helping others all the time, they're going to be that way when they grow up. And respecting other people, elderly people, visiting people in the hospital, visiting people in the old age home or, wherever they are, just all those kinds of things, that's a value. In this day and age, people are so into me. It's the me generation, iPhone, iPad, everything, me, okay? That's what you have out there on the street. And we as Jews have to go against that attitude. We as Jews are not just me. Of course, we have to take care of our own basic needs. Of course, we should not neglect ourselves. That's very important. Taking care of ourselves is a Jewish value.
For sure,
okay?
yes.
I don't want to neglect to say that, okay? That's extremely important. But do we have to only focus on ourselves all day long? Absolutely not. After we take care of our own needs, we should look for ways to take care of others. In fact, we should ask Hashem for opportunities to help other people. And like King David said in Tehillim, Ach, tov v'chesed yirdefuni kol yemei chayai. King David, who had the most challenging life, he was pursued. He was, people wanted to kill him all the time. He had such a stressful type of life. But he said, Hashem, please let kindness and chesed, let it run after me all my life. Please let me be chased by good things, meaning like give me opportunities to do favors for people, to help people. That was what King David stressed. And so we learn from that. We learn from Psalms. We learn from Tehillim. We learn from him through all the words that he said. Those words apply to us now. And we ask Hashem, just like King David asked for chesed opportunities, please Hashem, send us chesed opportunities. Another big value, but it's kind of an overlap with what I said before, is simcha, happiness, joy. So we should try as best as we can to check our attitude to check our facial expressions. Are we smiling, or do we look like we're down in the dumps and kind of in a dark place? You know, check yourself. Spread a little light all over the place.
A smile does wonders. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Say hello to people. Greet people with a happy countenance, a happy face, yes. A smiley face. All of these things take practice, but they can all be acquired and they can all be strengthened. And nobody should say, well, that's just not the way that I was made, like that's just not me. Nobody should say that, because it can become you very, very easily if you practice it. Practice the way you want to be, practice it, and it will become second nature to you in time, not overnight, but in time it will become second nature. So happiness and bringing joy into your life and joy into other people's lives, a lot of times through chesed, that brings a lot of joy by doing for others. That's very satisfying. That makes us feel good.
Yes.
Sometimes when I do things for other people, I wonder, like, am I being selfish by doing this? Like, I'm sure I'm getting more out of it than they're getting, but that's what we're supposed to do, and we get a rush of thrill when we help other people. And so that definitely brings happiness. And the last value that I'm going to just mention, and there's so many more, but this is the last one that I'm going to mention, is a love of Hashem. And, we teach our children from early on. We teach them about the Shema. They know the Shema. They say it in the morning and they say it before they go to sleep. The Shema Yisrael, it talks about ve'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha. Love Hashem. So that is a Jewish value that we have to strengthen all the time. Love of Hashem. Hashem loves us and we love Hashem. We're like a married couple, husband and wife. We're married to each other. We're going to be very faithful to each other. We don't want Hashem to look at other nations as their nation. We're it. We're his beloved, okay? And Hashem does not want us to look elsewhere either for, to worship anything or anybody else. He wants us to be totally committed to our relationship with him. So love of Hashem is something that we talk about and we try to increase and strengthen. And it's a very, very powerful way to live, with Hashem right there by one side all the time.
It's so beautiful and so amazing. And you're so right, because all the things that we talked about today, everything, the physical, the Jewish rituals, the core values, just all those things combined together really, really elevate us as individuals, as people. And when when we walk out of our home happy and positive and grateful and, with simcha, other people notice and they want to be like us. They want that happiness. They want that connection to Hashem. They want their kids to be happy. They want that joyful atmosphere in their home, which permeates out of the home, not just to Jews, but to non-Jews also. And they see and they have a respect for us because of the way that we conduct ourselves, for our values and for our beliefs. So I think it's really, really special. So thank you so much, Rebbetzin Chaya, for taking the time to join us on America's Top Rebbetzins. We really appreciate you being here, and we hope that today's learning will be a refuah shalema for Lior Tovia ben Haya Ashna. And once again, I wanted to thank our sponsors, the law offices of Jason B. Kessler, www.kesslerlawyer.com. If anyone in the audience has any questions or comments, or if somebody else would like to sponsor a future podcast, please email us at atrebbetzins@gmail.com. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
My pleasure.